Alrighty folks, in this video we're going to go over how do we calculate the average value of a function over a specified interval. Okay, so here's the formula. Here, let's write this down. So the average value of f of x on an interval which goes from a to b is, so here we go, it's going to be a definite integral. The formula is, here we go, the average value of a function equals, it's 1 over b minus a times the definite integral that goes from a to b of your function f of x. All right, so how is this useful? What if you want to know your average profit over a certain time interval? You want to know your average revenues. You would use this function, assuming that you know your revenue and profit functions. Okay, I'm going to do just one quick example here because you guys, I think, are pretty good with integration now. For example, I want us to find the average value of f of x equals, let's say, 10 minus 4x on the interval going from, let's say we're going from, I don't know, 1 to, let's say, 3. On the average value of that function as we go from 1 to 3. All right, so what they told us is our interval goes from 1 to 3, so that means that our a is 1, our lower bound is 1, our upper bound is 3. Okay, so now let's set up our integral. It's going to be 1 over b minus a, so 1 over 3 minus 1, times the integral from 1 to 3 of our function 10 minus 4x dx. Okay, so we're going to have, on the outside, we're going to have 1/2, and it's going to multiply our definite integral, which, let's do it like this. Let me do brackets. So we're going to go ahead and integrate 10 minus 4x. So we don't use substitution here. We just take each individual integral. So we get 10x minus 4x squared over 2. And this needs to be evaluated from x equals 1 to x equals 3. But before doing so, I'm going to go ahead and simplify into my brackets there. Because, let's see, 10x, 4x squared divided by 2 is a 2x squared. X equals 1 to x equals 3. All right. So now what we can do is now we apply the fundamental theorem of calculus, meaning we plug in our upper bound first minus what we get when we plug in the lower bound. And so you don't have to do it this way, but this 1/2, this 1/2 is going to multiply our answer after we've applied the fundamental theorem of calculus. So I'm going to keep the 1/2 on the outside for now. So it's going to be 1/2 times, okay, here we go. What do we plug in first for x? We have to plug in 3. So let's see here. So it's going to be 10 times 3 minus 2 times 3 squared. Okay, that entire quantity minus, now we plug in 1. 10 times 1 minus 2 times 1 squared. Okay. All right, just be extra careful with your parentheses and your grouping. So what we have here is 10 times 3 is 30. Minus, let's see, 3 squared is 9. 9 times 2 is 18. So it's going to be 30 minus 18, that quantity minus, let's see here, 10 times 1 is 10. 1 squared is 1. 1 times a negative 2 is a negative 2. Okay. Take your time with these. So we have 1/2 times 30 minus 18 is 12. 12 minus, let's see, 10 minus 2 is 8. Okay, so then we have 1/2 times 4. Half of 4 gives us 2. All right, folks. That is the average value of our function f of x over that interval that goes from 1 to 3. So to recap, all you have to do is apply this formula right here. Okay. Hoping that one example was enough to get you guys through the homework. I will see you in the next video.